now that Ukraine has carried out another daring attack on Russian infrastructure and damaged that vital bridge to Crimea with underwater explosives. It's after the spider's web raid, so-called, on Russian bombers. Many are now expecting the Kremlin to retaliate, maybe imminently. We can talk to Mikhail Kasyanov, the Prime Minister of Russia between 2000 and 2004. Welcome back to the programme.
Good evening. Hello.
Good to have you here. Do you believe that Putin and the Kremlin will be rattled, will be shaken by the attacks that we've seen in recent days on the bridge across into Crimea and the attack on those Russian bombers?
Yeah, of course, they're very angry, and Putin doesn't know how to react, and that's why he doesn't appear just already for 2 days, and there is no comment on him from him. And in fact, that is attack on Russian bombers just touched the strategic aviation, just long range aviation. That is very serious for Putin, and he understands that is something more than just usual conventional war. That is unprecedented and absolutely unexpected event, and everyone is shocked in Russia on that. And just for Putin, of course, he is angry and he prepares some kind of retaliation, just ugly, I would say, very tough and maybe cruel answers for this attack.
And what sort of retaliation do you think is now to be expected? Are we talking about those attacks on Russian civilian targets again?
I'm talking about just Putin's retaliation. That would mean just, I would say, ballistic missile for Ukrainian cities, and also cruise missiles from other strategic aircrafts, just long-range aircrafts, continue bombing Ukrainian cities, continue bombing Ukrainian infrastructure. Yeah. Something very painful that he'll continue to do this.
Right. Now, we're going to see NATO leaders meeting at The Hague in a couple of weeks' time, and the expectation is we'll see those NATO leaders promising to increase again defence spending and their readiness for war. Doesn't it add up to yet more evidence that the invasion of Ukraine by Russia was, on Russia's part, a big strategic mistake?
I don't think Putin believes that is a big strategic mistake. He believes he will win this war, and he is sure that the NATO will not undertake just more efforts. I would say just all leaders will not increase considerable pressure on Russia, like I would say embargo of purchasing Russian oil. And he believes that the spending would not be so effective as it promised. And that's what upcoming meetings just of leaders would demonstrate. G7 and NATO leaders would demonstrate just readiness to do this. And everyone is looking for United States principled decision whether they stay together with the coalition of willing or they somehow getting out of negotiation.
Tell me, how far has Russia transformed into a wartime economy with production, with labour getting higher wages, with so many more men in the military? Is the country now just depending on war and a permanent state of hostility and tension, and needs to keep that going?
At the level what war is now, I mean, just such an activity on the battlefield as we see today, Russia is prepared to conduct the war just for another couple of years. And in fact, the Russian economy already put on the military footing, and that's what already just automatic system. It already works this way, but of course, the human resource is limited, and for workers, and especially its engineers, it's limited. And that's what the problem just the whole economy faces with, and civilian industries just already just in a recession. That the problem, growing problem. That's what I'm talking and saying, that by the end of this particular year, Putin will be already in a different, weaker position as compared with today. That's what the pressure on him should continue.
And what then about escalation beyond Ukraine? What do you say to that German military chief of staff who said we maybe should be ready for war inside 4 years? Do you think that is a likely possibility?
It is a possibility in case if Ukraine capitulate, and the West would press Ukraine to capitulate, and Putin would occupy or whatever, just take under control of Ukraine. And in this case, next step would be immediate to take Moldova. And then there will be some kind of, I think, just not conventional effort to occupy just part of one or another state of NATO members, but some kind of hybrid just attempt, just creating a big problem in one or another just Baltic state or just Poland or somewhere there. That is, or Finland, something like that. But he will try to test how Article 5 of NATO Charter works, because nobody knows about this. But if the West continue to have the principal position, consistent position supporting Ukraine, I don't think just Putin will be prepared for any upcoming future just to invade for other countries.
All right. Obviously, concerning thoughts there. Mikhail Kasyanov, former Russian Prime Minister, thank you.
С 3 заводов крупнейших металлопроизводителей.
В Сибирь в том числе, да?
Да, мы привезли с Тюмени 1214 тонн. Благодаря тому, что